Hey guys, I've helped my clients spend over $2 million in Facebook ads, and here's what I learned. So, there's usually four things people are doing correctly to have success with Facebook ads. So, people that do these four things, they have a really good time succeeding with Facebook ads, and that people that don't do this, they fail miserably. Okay, so you don't want to be one of those people. So you just want to focus on these four things, right? They're super important. If you do these with your Facebook ads, you will have a lot of success, right? I've seen this even with people who are running Facebook ads for a long time, like years, right? And I look at their ads, I see that they don't have one of these four things. Then I look at their budget, how much they're spending, right? It's like a lot more than they should be. And then you have people who are just new, and they don't really know a lot about Facebook, but I teach them these four things. They implement these four things and they get a lot of really good results, really low cost. So it's super important that you also implement these four things if you want to succeed with Facebook ads. So starting off with number one. Number one is the right offer. Okay, so let me start off with giving you an example. So let's say someone wants to buy a laptop, right? Now, how you pitch the benefits is going to be different depending on if that person needs a laptop for example, for school or going for work. So, if someone needs it for school, right, their needs and wants are super different compared to someone going to work, right? And you need to acknowledge that, right? You can't try to pitch someone the same thing or the same product and the same benefits to both people. They have a different mindset and they're looking for different things. So you need to treat each customer right depending on what is their lifestyle and what is it that they want. So, for example, this person who goes to school, right? Obviously, people at school they don't have a big budget, so they're looking for something affordable. And the person who's going to school, right? Let's say he just wants it for like typing notes, right? For whenever the teacher is speaking, they want to take notes, and they want to have like use it for movies, right? Because a lot of students, they do a lot of work and then they need to de-stress, so they use YouTube and they watch movies to de-stress, right? So those are like the two things that they're going to be using it for, right? So the battery doesn't have to be that long, it doesn't have to be super expensive. So this product, right, it could be affordable or cheap, right? So the product you would pitch, it would be within their budget, and it would come across and talk about those benefits. And now compared to someone who's at work, right, who needs it, for work, it's super important for him. He spends a lot of time on the computer, so it needs to have a lot of memory. It needs to have it needs to last long, right? It needs to last, for example, for like 7 years. So it needs to be durable. And so because of those things, right, he has a bigger budget because he's working, but also because it's something super important for him. In order to succeed in his job, he needs to have a good product, right? And so you can pitch something to him which will last a bit longer, which will be help him be more productive, and maybe cost a bit more. Okay, so the product benefits that you're pitching or the offer that you're pitching, it's going to depend on what their needs are. Okay, so you only pitch the benefits of the product depending on what the need of the client is, right? So it's super important for you to know the benefits of the product, but only talk about those benefits that are going to be relatable to your audience. And that brings me to my second point, which is knowing the customer. Okay, knowing the customer is super important. So let's say, for example, someone's interested in playing soccer, okay, and you talk to him about ice hockey, right? And you tell him about like the hockey sticks, how long they are, what they're made out of. Like before they were made out of wood, now they're made out of carbon fiber, or like all these different materials, and the shape and the curve of the blade. And ice skating, you talk about the blades, how sharp they need to be, all the equipment. Like, you will not connect with that person because he doesn't know anything about hockey, but more importantly, he has no interest in hockey. Why don't you find a product or a service that's relatable to him based on what he likes, which is soccer, right? So you can talk about, for example, if you're selling, a soccer ball, if you're selling cleats, right, the people can wear. If you're selling like soccer jerseys, right, maybe you have different teams or brands. So that is connecting with your audience. So that is something super important. if you don't connect with your audience, or if you don't know anything about your audience, you're going to have a hard time selling to that audience. So let me give you another example. So audience is something super important, right? Let's say you have a mom, she has kids, she stays at home, and she takes care of the kids, right? So her lifestyle is very different compared to like a woman who works and is single and doesn't have any kids, it doesn't have a husband, and she just focused on her career, right? So they have different lifestyles. So, for example, the woman who's just working and single, right? Like her mindset or her goal is to maybe make more money so she can pay off her bills, right? Maybe money is a lot more important to her right now because she has all these bills and expenses that she has to pay off, and she can't think about kids right now. And compared to a mom, right, who has kids, who has more time at home, right, and she doesn't have to rely on making money. She can just focus on raising really good kids, right? Her mindset and her goal is just making sure that the kids grow up really well, right? So the product you would pitch to a mom with kids at home, right, would be maybe a course how to teach your kids how to have good manners, right? And right, so that way she can raise kids they are polite, respectful, confident, and if they go somewhere they won't embarrass you, right, like at a restaurant and stuff like that. And then compared to the lady who's single, right, and just busy working, right, her goal is like maybe if you want to sell a product to her or a service, would be like teaching her how to start a business, right, where she can make more money and not necessarily have to work as much, right, and getting her time freedom back. Or you can teach her how to invest, so that way once again she can make more money and get more of her time back. So two different concepts, right? Even though it's a woman, different lifestyles. So like you have to know your audience to know what product and then what service to pitch them. Super important. The third thing is targeting. Okay, so on Facebook is super important, the type of people you target. You can't just target anyone. There's people who absorb information differently, right? Or the people who are on a journey that is not all the same. So everyone's on a different journey, right? Some are beginners, some are like in the middle, and then some are at the end where they're like ready to buy, right? So people who are ready to buy, you can target them, right, and you'll have better conversions. But there's only a small portion of people who are ready to buy right now. And well, actually, like it depends, right? If your product or service, right, if it's a small amount, like let's say like $47, not a huge commitment, you'll be able to get a lot more people to convert compared to you're trying to sell something for like $1,000, right? People need to think about that. Maybe speak to their wife. Just like take it easy. They have to maybe like budget themselves to take care of some bill before they're ready to pay this off. So it's going to require a lot more of thinking, right? And some people, they can't do a quick decision like that. So you have to understand your audience, where they are within the journey, and you need to target them based on that. So if they're ready to buy, you target them based on that type of knowing where they are within the journey, so that they can convert a bit more easily. People who are in the beginning stage, right, you have to keep in mind, right, they don't have all the info. So you need to spend a bit more time with them. You have to get them to know you, like you, trust you. You have to take them on a journey, right, where they've gone through that. They know about you. They're aware of their problem. They're aware that you have a solution, right? They need to be aware that they actually are looking for a solution. Some people, they're not even aware of their problem. They're not even aware there's a solution, and that's why they're not looking. So if you help them be aware of the problem, keep them aware of that there is a solution and that you're the best person to help them because you've been helping them all this time, right? Then they're going to come to you. So it's super important how you target people based on where they are within their journey. Okay, so let me give you an example. So let's say you are someone who helps people lose weight, right? And you have like let's say a guy, he's really overweight, and you want to help him like he wants to lose weight, right? So and let's say he's tried all these different diets, he's tried all these exercises, right, and nothing works out for him. So he sees your ad online, right, and that you could help him lose weight, within this certain time frame. So he gets excited. It's a course, that could be affordable for him. So yeah, right, and like maybe it hasn't worked for him, right, because he doesn't have the right info, and that info could be like maybe he's not consistent, or like he's tried all the diets, but maybe he hasn't been portioning out his diets properly, right? Or maybe he's been exercising, but he hasn't been, exercising properly, right? Like maybe the way he's exercising is going to hurt his back, right? So you need to educate that buyer, right, before you get them to the purchase, right? So yeah, let me give you an example how you would do this to someone who's like done all of these things and still nothing has worked, right? So you talk about, so you don't want to say, hey, I want to lose weight, or are you fat, or something like that, right? You don't want to say something like that and then say, hey, I'm a trainer, I help people, lose weight. Like you don't want to start pitching right away. You want to connect with your audience first, then pitch. Okay, so how you would connect with this audience would be like talking about how the problem they're having with their life right now, being overweight, right? So for example, this guy, he has graduation coming up soon, and so you would ask like, hey, are you ready for your graduation photos, right? And a lot of people, they want to look their best in the graduation photos, right? And if they're overweight, they're not going to look their best. And what's worse is these photos will never happen again. They only come once in a lifetime. Okay, so you ask them, hey, are you ready for your graduation photos, right? And then, so are you ready for your graduation photos, or do you want to look your best in your graduation photos? And then you say, here's how to do it. You still haven't pitched him. You explain him, you educate him more. Once he's interested, right, and he sees that solution, so here's how you prepare for your graduation photos. You eat healthy, you do this exercise, and and you can give it to him for free. You can give it to him in a course. They get some certain result, right? And then you can upgrade them to higher programs where they can get maximum results. And for example, if his graduation is within like 6 months, the course would be fine. But if he wants to get the result quickly, let's say within like 30 days or 3 months, then you can have higher ticket programs. You can tell them about, hey, you try the course, you got results, but if you want faster results, here's another high ticket program that will be best for you. So that's how you connect with someone first. You help them get a result, then you pitch. So connection is first, build a relationship first, and then you pitch. You don't want to pitch first. That is salesy and no one likes it. Just to summarize, this entire point was messaging, right? You have to understand your audience, and the messaging needs to be something super important, right? This example that I gave about graduation, you want to look best in your graduation photos. That is the correct messaging, because that person is something that he cares about his graduation and the photos, right? So that messaging is something super important to him. And for you to be able to sell, your fitness program, you need to understand that the way you'll be able to connect him, this audience, to your fitness program is under the right messaging, which is connecting with what he's looking for, what he wants. Not what you want, what he wants, and how you can take that and then mix it with your product and service, okay? So messaging is something super important. And the last thing is number 4 is pain point, okay? So understanding your client's pain points and using that in your messaging to be able to connect with your audience. So this is going back to the connection point, right? You want to connect with your audience. And so when you understand your client's pain points, you know where they are, right? And then you know how to take them to where they want to be. So it's something super important that you understand what their pain points is, but also important not to dwell on the pain points for too long, because when you do that, your clients, they'll lose hope, and you don't want that, right? You want to inspire them. So you connect with them where they are, and then you inspire them to where they want to go, okay? And so once they're inspired, once they feel better, once they're motivated, right? Once they feel like they can accomplish this, that's when they'll be ready to buy from you. So if your ads are not working, try these 4 things, and let me just summarize them once again. So first was the right offer. Number 2 was your audience. Number 3 was your messaging. And number 4 was understanding your client's pain points so you can connect with them and they then you can pitch them. So if you try these 4 things, you'll have a lot of success with your Facebook ads. If you have any questions, send me a message on Instagram, same name, How to Keep More. Leave a comment below if you have any question about Facebook ads or anything else you'd like to ask me. I'll be happy to help. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. So yeah, good luck with your business. Hopefully you can keep it growing with these 4 tips, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.